This is my radio voice. Welcome to Paul 102 Jazz, Utica's new station.
Mm.
La 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 la.
Oh no, don't do this.
All right. Three, two, one. And welcome. Welcome to the No Name Yet podcast. That is the podcast with no name. And on the show tonight, we have the other guy on the show. That is Mo, the COVID man, Young.
Man, wow. You know, I can't even say thank you. I'm happy to be here. And now you got people out there thinking that I am the cause of many things. I am patient zero.
And also on the show
Look at this. Look.
is Christine A. Palmer.
This behavior is
This
unacceptable.
guy, he's got a warped sense of humor, boy.
Yes, he does.
And I am your host, Richard, COVID, and some other virus, Moran Jr.
So which COVID virus are you? Are you Omega or Alpha?
I don't know.
Maybe the Beta?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But this
I don't know
is
either.
the recovery episode. We haven't been on the air for 2 weeks. It's because I was sick with some virus, and then I was well for 3 days, and then I got COVID.
Pastor, you're way too familiar with recoveries.
Yeah.
You need to stop this journey. How many times you got to recover in life?
And Mo had COVID, and
Yeah.
Christine went to the hospital and got zapped to cure her AFib.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Yes.
Aphid. Wow. I got to get some updates going on in this life.
Yep,
This guy, boy.
Christine actually called me from the emergency room
Oh God.
and said, "Come and see me."
No.
And I'm like, "I can't. I'm home with COVID."
Do you want to die faster, ma'am?
A sick bunch of people in more ways than one.
I mean, I feel like only one of us would have left out with everything intact.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
So Mo, how did you
Funny.
make it through COVID?
Let me first start off with saying that. So my girlfriend was sick for the week, and so I was like, really, my like 14 people were out at my job, right? Educators with 14. That's a lot of people,
Wow.
you know. And our dean was like, "Hey, need you come in." So I worked really hard those few days, and then on Thursday, I go to work, you know, something is a little off. I'm like, I don't know, whatever. I'm okay. I have my mask. I always wear my mask, right? So I'm just masked up because it's cold season, it's allergy season, anything can happen. And I eat my last night my dinner from the dinner, but for breakfast, and I'm eating the rice, and I'm like, everything tastes like soap. What is this? Something is wrong. So I eat as much as possible because I'm starving. And I go to a teacher, and I'm like, she's telling me about when she just came back from COVID and all the things she's done to help herself. And I said, hey, something just said, ask her, what do you think about somebody like tasting soap when they eat food? And she goes, my daughter had that symptom when she had COVID. I'm like, well, interestingly enough, everything tastes like soap. She's like, you need to like go see the dean and let her know that that's a thing. And then I went to my boss and I told her, I said, hey, everything tastes like soap. And she goes, looks at me from a long distance. Now I can't even see long distance, but I can just feel her energy. And it was just like, she goes, I've never heard of that symptom before. She was dumbfounded.
I never heard of it before.
And she's like, yeah, that makes sense why you would have that problem because your girlfriend is sick. And it was a matter of time. So she wasn't like upset. She was like, just go to the ER. Go to, get checked. And I went, and 14 minutes after getting checked, the lady walks in very casually. She goes, yeah, you're positive. And I said, "Oh, great," but like, I was just like more upset. I just like the idea of like, wow, how like casual she was. It was like she was like, "You got," it's like, "Hey, you got the cold, cool, bye," and she was like, "Yeah, over the counter medicine, boom." So the next day, like the Friday, I had like a
Ooh,
nice.
you were mad about that.
I was mad about that. I was so
Christine, he
mad.
was pissed.
I was pissed, Christine.
Why? Because they sent you home because you had COVID.
No, I was mad at the fact that like how the nurse walked in and it was just like she was like just looked at me. No hesitant, no fear. No like very like chill. Oh, you're
Nonchalant.
positive. You're positive. I'm like, so what should I do? Oh, just take some over the counter medicine. You'll be good. Like which over the counter medicine? The best ones are, Tylenol, Advil, you're just gonna let your body go through it. Get some exercise, drink some orange juice, take your vitamins. You'll be fine. And I just got like I joke. I said, so this is where we're at now in life, and she like understood what I meant by that, and like can't got gave that face like it's crazy, but that's the truth, and
It is what it is.
it is what it is. So I was like, my brain went to like, oh my God. I just flashed back to the beginning of COVID and like the propaganda, the messaging, everything else like that. And a lot of nurses, even in the beginning, when I talked to medical professionals back then, they were like, most of the stuff over the counter could work. Exercise, go outside, blah, blah, blah. And the message just kept changing. And I was like, are you like, this is insane. We got abused for 2 years to end up here.
But why were you mad? I don't
I
get
was
it.
mad because like the amount of political push. I mean, like the political side, just strangers.
But why
Um,
fall for the propaganda? I
I didn't.
mean,
I didn't. It was not personally didn't care. The problem with that was the everybody else was verbally attacking you.
Mo,
Yeah.
there's no more axe left to grind.
I don't have an axe to grind.
get
It was
over it,
just like
Mo. Get
yeah,
over
pretty
it,
more.
Mo.
Yeah, pretty more. We made a mistake. Get over it. It was never a big deal. We
Let
just
me ask
added
you
it.
this. Are you
Yeah.
vaccinated?
No.
You're not vaccinated.
No.
So you need to be thanking God that you didn't come down with a worst case. Because if all of you had was flu symptoms, people have died from this. And
No.
you're not
See, here's the thing.
vaccinated
I
either.
understood at a young age that like I had a higher like my health, my body. I understand my body very well. I know how active I am. I'm very active. And I knew all the things when it started, when like Dr. Fauci, for example, came out originally saying, hey, you know what it is? And we need y'all to walk outside. You need vitamin C. You need these vitamins. You're gonna get this. Make sure you exercise. It was that original statement. I did all of that, right? That was my whole thing, right? And
Fauci said a lot of things.
Dr.
Yeah.
Him and a lot of those political people said a lot of things. And then it went to like, hey, the problem is the reason why we want you young folks to get vaccinated is even though you have a higher chance of surviving, it's the older generation. We need to protect our elderly. So
Well, how old are you?
I'm only 27.
Are you okay? All right,
Yeah.
you're a baby.
Yeah, I'm a baby. I'm a baby. So
I'm a geezer.
you geezer. so I understood it and I so so I respected that. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get vaccinated, but I'm not going to be that person that puts elderly people that I love in any prison. So I kept myself around people around my age who's healthy and no physical. I didn't have any interaction with anybody older.
Wise choice. I like that.
So I was aware, but I didn't
Except except in a bar in Georgia.
a bar and everybody in that bar was young. Everybody in that bar was young. Everybody in that bar was in like the most probably was like 32 and not one person when we had a conversation, everybody was like, listen, like a lot of people were like, listen, just don't hang out with older people. I just don't hang out with them. I stay away from my family, but I'm gonna have to live my life because I am like this stuff is messing with my head. Like, and we all agree with that. A lot of younger people are like, we can't do this. We can't just stay in the house. Like, this is like messing with our mental health. So everybody,
Okay.
like a lot of people just agreed, like, hey, we're just gonna stay away from our elderly people.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So let's give Christine a chance to tell us about her spastic heart.
Oh,
This guy, boy, I don't even. Whew. I, I don't even know what to say with him. You can't even get mad at this guy.
nope, not at all.
It's just like my spastic heart. This is my third time dealing with AFib.
Mm-hmm.
So Saturday of last week, I thought I felt it, and it passed by. Sunday, I went to church, and after I came home, I thought I felt it again. And I said, well, I don't know. It went by. So Monday, it was letting me know that
It
it
was
was
it was coming.
it was in effect. Yeah. So I was making some cakes for somebody. So I finished making the cakes all day.
Dedicated.
It kept progressively getting worse. So about 10:30 at night, I went to the hospital. So when I got there, I was beating at about 180 a minute.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's how
yeah,
fast
that's
it was
something.
going. And I said, I'm gonna be in this ER all night because it was like 30 people there, and most of them had been there since 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm like, oh dear Jesus, maybe I should have came by ambulance. And the nurse said, well, it really wouldn't have made any difference because we're just taking them as they come. If you're not bleeding to death, there's no heart problems. You're nobody's vomiting or having asthma attacks and not breathing. You're gonna have to wait. So, and they were putting the people that came in by ambulance in the emergency room, either in a wheelchair or find another gurney for them so the ambulance people could leave. So I sat there, but once they took me back and triaged me and got an EKG, they took me straight to the back. So I didn't have to wait because they need to get medicine in me.
Yeah.
So on Monday, on
So
Tuesday,
casual.
Wednesday, at 7:30 in the morning, they took me down and zapped me, as Rich said, and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I came home.
Hmm. Blessings on blessings.
Blessings on blessings, and that's a blessing because
So so when we talked about this before, you told me about the mark on your chest.
yes, they burnt me from the pad where the pad sits,
Yeah.
They put it right in the middle of my chest and one in my back. So they scorched me.
Mm. Do you feel that?
No, because you're asleep. You don't feel nothing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It doesn't even burn, like it doesn't, I didn't even know it was there other than the fact that when I looked in the mirror, I could see the mark. And one of the nurses told me, what is that circle in you? I said, that's from where they zapped me. Because I had one before, because this is the third time they've zapped me.
So do they season you before they do that?
Mm.
I think I got enough sauce in me. They didn't need to give me anything but that little cocktail they gave
You've
me.
been marinating.
Yeah, I'm well marinated. Yes, I am. Well
Tell them.
seasoned.
Tell them.
Yes.
And did you make any friends this time?
Yes, I did. Not as good as Alicia, but you know me, everybody wants to talk, and my roommate was she was a witness. So we find out we knew a few people
Okay.
in common that we both knew. And she had a sad story because she actually had fell down some stairs, retired from the post office. She was taking care of a elderly lady for a friend of hers that had to go out of town. And she ended up with with a concussion in a coma for a few days.
Oh my God.
She's
My
got
Lord.
a TBI and she's not walking.
Oh wow.
And she's got asthma real bad. So we talked about the people that we knew in common, and her children were concerned about her. Very nice lady. And after we were talking, and she told me she worked at the post office, I remember her seeing her at the right around the corner from me. The post office there is where she was stationed at there in downtown. Said, see, you never know what somebody else is going through, you know. And I am fortunate to have
being selfish.
a lot of friends that I love to death, and I get sick of them sometimes. So in this, we ain't got nobody to talk to her. But no, I don't get sick of my friends. I love them because I don't know what I would do without them. Because Reverend Richard's one of them.
And you should get tired of him.
No, I didn't get tired of him. I was saying that I love him because he's my friend.
Nah, sometimes I gotta ignore him for like 2 days.
Oh no.
You were annoyed with me after 2 days?
No, I said sometimes I gotta ignore you for like 2 days.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know, but that's with everybody. I feel like that's just a normal reaction.
Well, there's some times where I wish I could ignore myself for 2 days.
Oh, same. If I could just pull myself out of my own body and be like, be quiet, just be quiet.
So what about you, Christy?
Oh, I can't stand myself sometimes. I wish I could take a break from me.
Yeah.
What a weird concept that humans will do.
You got some issues there, lady. But you know I got issues, Rich.
That's why I love you.
How lucky are we?
Conversations, and you know I got issues.
How lucky are we to be creatures that can get annoyed with ourselves? Like, how blessing. That's a blessing.
That's rich. That's, you know.
Yeah.
You don't hear a lot of people say that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I be in here talking to myself.
Listen, same. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Scientists, psychology did a whole measurement. They were like, we find that people that talk to themselves are very intelligent people.
As long as you don't start answering yourself, that'd be the problem.
I mean, I feel like I got to answer myself when it's too crazy. Really want to do that, bro? Like, you need to be a little bit nicer to this person. If it was you, you'd be mad.
Forgive me and move me on. And think about how fortunate that I am, how blessed I am.
Yes.
So Mo, I think you're aware that Christine and I tried recording a podcast on Tuesday,
and you fell,
and I forgot to push record.
Yeah.
So Christine, do we want to get back into Buffalo or just skip it?
Wait, whoa! Are we? Which event in Buffalo are we talking? Yeah, was talking about.
What other event is there to talk about right now?
Okay. So, being a person born in Buffalo, give me for my because I just could not open the story. I mean, I went through a channel. I went through a YouTube channel. Watched a Breakfast Club commentary on it, and Charlamagne the God was talking about how it was a young 18-year-old person took 10 lives, and even shot at 2 white people as well. And but the commentary he was pointing was the family member, like an aunt or something, and her husband. They were saying, oh, well, you know, the wife was saying, I blame COVID. And then the husband was on file telling the New York Times or whatever post that it could have been the lizard part of his brain. And after like that made him do this thing. And I was just like, I'm done. White people always have an excuse for everything. Like, there's no, like, Charlamagne.
Where did you see that on?
That was on Breakfast Club.
Oh, so they were playing clips or something like that?
He would, they usually, Charlamagne the God does a thing called Donkey of the Day. Okay. And he will read news articles, or his assistants get news articles, and they he'll talk about it.
Right now. But Sandra Komaroff is the cousin of this thugs, okay, Peyton's mom, and she, I don't even know who asked her and why she did, but she decided to give her thoughts on why she felt like Peyton, committed the murders that he did. She was talking to the New York Post, and she said, and I quote, I have no idea how he could have gotten caught up in this. I blame it on COVID. Now listen, we have blamed COVID for a lot of things, and rightfully so. But one thing we're not gonna blame COVID for is racism. Okay, we're not gonna blame COVID for bigotry. Unless COVID is code for the American way, there is no logical reason to blame this on COVID. But I will continue. Sandra Komaroff said Peyton was very paranoid about getting COVID, extremely paranoid to the point that his friends were saying he would wear a hazmat suit to school. Listen, what was the key thing they told us to do to avoid getting COVID? What was the reason all of us was in the house quarantining, working from home? Why did Zoom get so popular? 2 words, 5 syllables: social distancing. Okay, which means to avoid people. And if you do get near people, stay 6 feet away. Going to a supermarket to randomly kill black people is not social distancing. In fact, if you were really scared of COVID and stayed your ass home, then those beautiful people who were killed in Top Supermarket would be alive today. Okay, Sandra, his mama's cousin, said they were vaxxed to the max. That's her exact words. That's really what she said. And I don't know if it was a bad case. I just know he caught it. She is stressing that he bought into the fear of COVID. She is claiming that isolation and paranoia over COVID could have caused him to commit this massacre. Let me tell you something. It's no secret I suffer from bad anxiety. Okay, a lot more manageable now because of therapy and other mindfulness techniques I've been practicing over the years. So, you know, I understand being under the fear of isolation and paranoia, but what that got to do with being racist? Okay, what that got to do with being a bigot? All right, his mama cousin said that's the only way to say it. And when you're home all day on the internet, you're missing out on human contact. There's a lot of emotions and a lot of body language you're not getting as when you see their face. Again, what the F does this have to do with your 18-year-old thug-ass cousin Peyton being a racist, bigoted mass murderer? Then her husband David chimed in and said, in theory, COVID could have affected what they call the lizard brain. Oh, all you YouTube conspiracy theorists out there, I think he's admitting that Peyton is potentially a blood-drinking, flesh-eating, shape-shifting, extraterrestrial, reptilian humanoid with only one objective, and that's murder. Her husband said, I can't say it's impossible, but maybe that would happen 1 out of so many millions of times. What the hell are they even talking about? Don't nobody get the benefit of the doubt like a white man in America. Okay.
And the
It
wildest
was the
stuff.
donkey that made that statement, right?
Yeah.
Well, donkey of the day is
Jeez.
who's ever is the person of the day, whoever does something so ridiculous that they deserve a donkey of the day.
Well, that was a ridiculous statement to make. So I think he got donkey of the day. If he didn't, he should have.
He definitely did. That was that
Yeah.
whole skit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was donkey of the day, and the wife and the husband got donkey of the day, and his comments, not mine. My word, his words, not mine. He was saying, "Ain't no man like a white man that gets the most excuses in America, like for everything. Like, oh nope, you kill somebody." You're not just you're not racist. There's a reason why you killed somebody. An alien did it. COVID, you blame it on something else, but not the person's behavior. On they were racist before that happened. COVID can't, don't turn people racist.
Mm.
So,
Like everything else, I mean, I know people are hurt and upset, but all this stuff the governor's talking about, and all this stuff with these guns, this is just where we're at today. And
Mm-hmm.
sad to say, it's going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't stop living your life. You have to go on because you can't change this. It's here. And it's gotten worse since that, I don't even know what to call him, donkey president we had in there,
Mm-hmm.
heightened this racial tension in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't gone away, but it wasn't at the hot point that it is now.
Yeah.
So I just got to live your life and go on. And is this going to happen again? I believe so. And I don't
Oh
think
yeah. There's something that happens every
anything
month.
is going to stop it because this is just the way of the world. And it's very sad to say, you know.
What did the governor say? If you, yeah.
Oh,
I
she's
didn't-
trying to something about the guns, and unless they stop making guns and take them away, they're not going to stop it. Racial problems we're going to have to the end of time. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's very sad to say, and I'm not being negative. It's just a fact. We just have to
Yeah.
get
It's
used
just,
to it. It's a fact. It's a part of life. This stuff is going to happen. It's
Yeah.
been going on. It's just getting worse now. And when you have a high volume people, it draws more attention to it. This
Yeah.
stuff happens every day. This
Yeah.
isn't just an isolated incident. It's
Yeah.
the awareness of it is heightened because so many people. He purposely did this. This happens every day. You got people being hung. You got these cops killing people. Black
Hmm.
men, especially women too. So this is not nothing new. You
Yeah.
know, it ain't nothing new.
Ain't nothing new. And one point I did hear on the Breakfast Club was that a lot of people like myself, I do give a lot of credit for my generation and younger ones, because our train of thought is very different from the older generations. But it's still clear there's still people wherever they're from, wherever the areas are, whatever the family dynamic is. There's a lot of little hidden spots. I don't think it's a majority of on whites or certain cultures, but there are some little hot spots happening that we can't identify, and they're popping up, and they're younger. They are younger, and it's a correlation to a lot of things. Maybe it's like it's and I did a paper on this for college and school shootings and stuff like that. But there's a lot of areas. There's
Can
a
you get
lot
your
of
paper?
No, not right now. Like off right now.
Yeah,
No, I couldn't
go
do it.
get the paper and read it to us.
No, I couldn't do it right now. That's on a flash drive. I don't even know where that flash drive is. That was 3 years ago.
All right,
You want me to
sorry.
find it anyway?
No, I really don't. But
That guy is wild. Um,
I mean, a lot of the government response, probably a lot of people can predict like how they're going to react.
hmm
Um, I mean, Governor Hochul, is trying. I guess he's trying to do some things that might be a little bit more effective, but who knows?
mm
Um, but what I'd like to share is like the nature of this attack.
hmm
Like this man, drove what was it, like 200 miles to do this,
Oh,
and
he went out of his own town to do this.
yeah, I
Mm.
mean, to find black people to shoot.
Hmm.
And what he did was he shot up a Tops market in a neighborhood that was really the only market. So now
Wow.
basically it's a food desert.
So
Well,
no.
they're not going to close the store.
Oh, you heard that they're not going to close the store?
No, that imagine. Are they going to close the store because of this?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I
Oh, okay.
Black
But who?
people tend to be turned.
Well, I
We're
don't
so
think they
adapted to
should.
turning situations like tragedies into like. I will give our people. We've had learned to have a system for when this stuff happens, especially for our Black political leaders. We definitely learned a system to turn tragedy into our victories. So I don't see Top being shut down. I can see it turn into. I can see the corporation Top involving in a political way, which would be the better business option for them, and in support in this situation for the Black community, right? Because it's happened in a spot that they located their spot in, um, and whatever political leaders in the community using that as a memorial or anything else like that to heighten and protect the community in more ways. So, yeah, I can see something like that happening. And Buffalo being what Buffalo is, definitely I can see a lot of support going into that location.
Well, the other night we had a meeting, and I mean, not now, right now that the market is closed, um, that two of our churches have already distributed food,
Mm-hmm.
in the AME churches in Buffalo, and there's more work being done about providing a supply of food that people either can get for free or to purchase, because the market will definitely be closed for a while.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Um,
of course. It's
and
yeah. Yeah.
So, well, um, it is it is such a tragedy, and
Yeah.
um, that the racism the racism of this country really is uh, a disability for this country.
Yeah.
And
That's the real disability, right? Blindness, nothing.
yeah,
Being deaf, nothing. But that is truly a disability and of its right. And I 100% agree with that. Like that's something so, I also like heard, I don't remember who said this, so I wish I did, but I've heard like this remark, and I'm gonna like, I can't remember the exact words, but basically the gist was, you know, in the last 2 years, the Black culture has increased its influence so much so within this country by showing the world that we are capable of taking tragedy and making blessings no matter what it is, and that in reality is that we've never had this much, right? Like, because if you look at TV and media and stuff like that, our culture has become very highlighted in a lot of positive ways. I mean, of course, we still have certain shows and certain media that are what they are, but our music is changing. Our conversations are changing. Mental health in the last 2 years in the Black community has just increased. More people have started doing therapy, increased numbers on those platforms. So when we look at it as a culture in like the advocates from young generations to the older generation who's worked so many decades to get us to the point where we would go to therapy, and that old mindset is dead with so many people. I have so much more conversation with Black people around my age about therapy, and they're like, so many people around my age is like, they're saying, I know I need it. I've
okay.
never had that before. Like, I was like somebody who absolutely loves therapy, supports it, will fully, like, I would push it for and suggest it to anybody. Um, I was always the oddball out. So to now be in a room full of people my age and be like, yeah, therapy is great, especially with men. Like, yeah, I took it. George Floyd thing destroyed me. Like, it was hard. Like, this happened. My grandmother passed away. So I went online and found a therapist. And like, hearing those words now is more common. So I'm like, okay, there's a lot of things changing. And I think that it's showing, and there are people watching that who may be racist or from an older mindset, and they're like, they can't handle it.
What do you think of that, Christine?
I'm not sure because me
It's my
personally, I
possibility.
think our mental health system is very broken.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. There's
And
a lot
there
of
are
fixing.
more people with mental health issues than there ever have been.
Yes,
And I
agreed.
mean, the young people, it's very sad to see the condition of them. It's very sad to know that they need help and they go to the hospital. They give them a couple of shots of Thorazine, keep them for 48 hours. There's not even a 72-hour hold most of the time.
Mm.
It's 48, 24 to 48 hours, and they let them go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know this to be true because my niece is one of them. And a lot of it is because of drugs.
Yep.
And then when they do the drugs, it makes it worse. But just even people, all the mental health, you've never seen this before. And I'm 68 years old. And it's just, I find it to be very sad that our country, as rich as it is, that the mental health that they don't do anything about. They don't do anything about our homeless veterans that have went and fought for this country, and they give them nothing.
All right, don't get me started. I hate that.
It's sad, very sad. So the height of the awareness of it, I don't see where that's at. Personally, myself, you may see it,
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't.
it's
But
really so. Yeah, a lot of what
and
I
we've
see is
always
on
been a
social media.
resilient people because look what we've survived
Mm-hmm.
and still surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And we've
Yeah,
always been resilient,
a
you
lot of
know?
what I see is social media. Like,
Too much of it, too much of it.
one thing that we have on social media now is a lot of advocates for mental health, and a lot of our rappers and singers and a lot of like really push for that, has been pushing for that, talking about it in our
Yes.
music.
Yes, they are. Yes.
So that's where a lot of that energy and support is going to. A lot of those people are talking about it. I mean, one of our biggest rappers in my generation, that my group generation really loves, is Lil Wayne, and he's one of those people that came out and talked about his mental health and his suffering from it. And like those conversations from the people we idolize, and getting those people coming out and be more comfortable, is really what I've seen. And then being people around my age that are like talking about it, both in person and online. And it's like it is a mix, but like, because it's like, it's always suggested that Black people go find Black therapists. That's a common thing. I say it all the time. I even talk about it with a counselor at my job, and I'm not sure how she may take it or not, but I told her straight up, I'm like, students need to, like, Black students need to have
Hey,
a
Mo.
Black therapist outside of the school.
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm sorry I'm late. I
Hello.
didn't mean to interrupt you, Mo. My fault. Keep going, because
Oh,
I want to definitely add to that.
yeah. So like, even in my school.
Well, hold on. Since we're stopped,
Yeah. He said keep going.
Since
So
we're
I listen to the brother.
we're gonna play a little bit of the theme right now and introduce, for his second time back on the No Name Yet podcast, the worst guest ever,
All right, what's going on, guys?
Alex!
What's going on?
What's going on, Alex? I think this is my
Thanks
first
for
time
having
meeting you,
me.
right, brother?
I am. Yeah, this is my first time meeting you. What's going on? How you doing, man? Nice to meet you
I'm
guys.
blessed and highly
Who,
favored.
who else is here?
Oh,
Well, four
So
participants.
this is Christine.
Hello.
Christine, Miss Christine. You look familiar. You know my mom.
Who are you?
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Miss Christine on this thing. You know Miss Christine, right? Christine, you know what I'm talking about. Drive the blue car, huh? Yeah.
You drive the blue car,
Mom,
Christine?
yeah, she on the Beef Mom, yeah. She on the podcast, Mom.
Who are you? I don't recognize you.
Black people all know each other now.
Nah, she just my mom named Natasha. She's Trinidadian. They call her Tasha.
Tasha, Miss Tasha.
Yeah.
Pastor, you got two Trinidadian men here.
You Trinidadian, bro?
Yeah, I'm Trinidadian.
Oh, that's fire, bro. Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I
today
want
was
to tell Tasha I want to know where my goat meat at, where my dinner.
I'm not sure. Miss Christine said, where your goat meat at? Where her goat meat at the dinner?
I love it. Folks, this is what we do. We make sure we look out for each other and remind each other, hold each other accountable, because that goat meat is.
No, real talk. That's the only way. I think this is why I think like stuff like this is important.
It's so important. He's trying to swallow.
Yeah, you shouldn't have took that bite of food and said
It was good. It was good.
We're gonna have our own No More Chicken episode.
Yeah, no more chicken on this show now. And it's not me. Guess what? No more chicken, and it's not
I
more.
really wish I could share this with you guys. This is good. I'm not gonna lie.
What type of chicken is that? It matters.
You know it's fried.
Oh.
No, this ain't go. This ain't go. I wish.
I had some.
You know what's
I had
crazy?
some oxtails a few days ago.
You know what's crazy, bro? I haven't had oxtails in like 2 months, bro. I'm now that you said that, I'm craving them, bro. Like for real. I haven't had oxtails in a long time. So good. Now, what's your favorite dish?
Pass the show. Pass it. Go.
What's your favorite dish?
Two men. We
Mo,
young men.
what point were you making, if you remember?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Thank you for putting me back on road. So I'm going to make it quick because we had a whole chicken part. So My thing about it is just that, like, you know, and Alex can probably say he's around. You know, how old are you, Alex? By the way.
I'm 24 now.
Okay, so he's in my generation. We, especially like I said, social media and our generation, our rappers, our musicians, our actors who are black, they've really been pushing the mental health part openly and through music and everything else like
Definitely.
that. And it is having a conversation. So one of my counselors in the school, she, you know, Caucasian, but you know, I've said it when I met her. I was like, you know, oh, this is not to, and I told her, like, hey, this is not to offend you, but like research shows that like a lot of the students here will benefit, and I think should be pushed to have. Y'all should network with black therapists, men and women outside of the school, and build that network for the community. Because not only is it good for the black business and those supporters, but it's good for the school to have that relationship with the community. And you know, so I know it's important. I've been in therapy all my life. I'm an advocate for it. um Seen some stuff, been through some stuff. We talked about psych wards. People who know me, been in psych wards myself, group homes, violent guy. I like, you know, I should fall more into the statistical side of violence and being in prison and stuff like that. But I got out of it just through the sheer help of people being able to like pull me away from certain imagery of my culture that was more
Mhm.
highlighted, that wasn't for me, versus me trying to find peace within myself that was possible, but was like frowned upon because it was associated with other cultures.
So, Christina, do you have indigestion, or you just don't like what Mo was saying?
I don't really agree with everything he's saying because there are good Caucasian
Of course.
therapists. So,
Well, I go by research. I'm going by the point
No,
of like black
I don't.
people doing the research and seeing that stuff and saying, hey, this is the percentage and curves. Like it increases dramatically in a certain way when you have somebody that looks like you, because it makes the patient feel more comfortable with somebody that kind of looks like them.
Definitely
Sometimes,
psychological and definitely like it's definitely a physical thing too. Like just
yeah.
this setting, like it's I can definitely see that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I
Mm-hmm.
get where Miss Christine coming from too, because it's like a lot of times when you like getting therapy and like you're getting a chance to like vent and reflect, like you're not really looking for like
Mm-hmm.
color. You know what I'm saying? You're just looking
That's
for
true.
somebody that's seriously going to listen to you, not from a point of judgment or nothing like that. You're just looking for somebody who wants to care, and that's the thing about like everything with me. Like it's never like as I get older, like a lot of things around me happen. And, have like whether it's negative or positive, have to do with race. Like me, like I'm just looking for the people who actually care. Like work ethic
Love
is
that.
important to me. You know what I mean? And that shows everything. Passion and all that stuff. Like drive, like you're motive, like what are you motivated by, like what makes you go
Exactly.
harder, what, like you know what I mean, like what's your initiative, like
Mm-hmm.
those are the things I judge people off with, like what I mean, that's how
Mm-hmm.
you can like character is big, like what I mean, like critical thinking questions can get you in that state of mind where you can like start to like you know analyze and make good, like what I'm saying, like you
Let
can
me
make
ask you a
good
question, Alex.
analyzations when you like
Oh, my
ask
question was,
yourself
how
these
many
serious
people,
questions.
how, like, you don't have to give an exact number, but in your own friend group, you know, you seem like similar to me in the sense that like you're very diverse and you like a diverse friend group. How many people like within our culture do you think are like on that same path, like mindset as you?
um I could say the people around me are because that's who I've gravitated towards because that's who
Yeah.
I was looking for. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
I love that.
everybody, no, and it's because people are just like a lot of people don't get it. Like I said, a lot of people don't get a chance to reflect, bro. They got so
Yeah.
much going on. Like
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I have to deal with all of this. You know what I mean? I'm not. When am I going to get a chance to sit back? And then a lot of times, some people have things that they don't want to even talk about. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Even all the way to the top, no matter whether you know what I'm saying, like the race thing, whether you black or white, I don't want to tell nobody this because this is not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not ready to, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's just,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like I totally see where you're coming from. Where you say like a lot of people just don't have the chance, and it's like in our culture, bro. Like nobody don't like to be talked to, bro. Nobody wants to listen, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody's mad and angry and already knows what
Amen.
they want to do.
Mm,
Nobody don't want to listen. Everybody just already knows everything. Especially now, too, on top of that, because we got the internet. So we really feel like we don't got to listen to nobody because we just go on the internet and look up anything we want to know.
yes, and we're comfortable doing that. So, like a lot of what I'm stating is, I grew up in my culture, Trinidad, being Trinidad from New York City.
Mhm.
I heard most of our culture say when it came to therapy, that's white. We don't do that. Go to
And
God, church,
that's the
church,
problem.
church, church. And it was like, wait, I've had my grandmother tell me, you can just pray. God will fix all of that. And I'll be like, oh, okay. So, and I still hear some of my students talk like that because they're repeating adults, in
Ignorance is
language and stuff
definitely
like that.
bliss. There's happiness in that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like there's happiness in not knowing like everything. You know what I mean? Like there's happiness in not like thinking about negative things. Like
Yeah.
people be trying to escape stuff, bro. People just don't want to like talk about it. They don't know how to let it out. They don't know how to go about it. And like you said, in our community, like in our culture, bro, it's just frowned upon because the media, like you've only ever seen people who are in the middle class or rich go for therapy because that's what they can afford.
Mm-hmm.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
and that has been for a long time
You know
something
what I
that's
mean?
been
Like
left out of our range.
people in the inner city, or you know what I'm saying, the poor, they can't afford therapy.
Yep. And
You know
faith
what I mean?
religion is
So,
usually there out.
and most of the world is poor, middle
Mm-hmm.
class. Like people don't understand. You have to make 120K a year to be in the middle class range. You don't make that, you're not there. So people be thinking that they're there, but they're not. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's very
Like
true.
together, you guys just barely make it to the middle class. You know what I'm saying? Like in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? But like
Yeah.
people just don't. It's not even a thing that's really like promoted. Therapy is not a thing. We haven't really got to the bottom of that yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Well,
we
this
haven't
is
really
good.
figured it
This
out
is
yet
good
because
conversation.
the people who are, and like I said, like a lot of times, even the people who are like listening to you vent, they're still going through things with themselves. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
they're learning
And
too while they're listening to you. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
so it's just like we haven't
All right,
figured it out.
this is good conversation.
Mm-hmm. What you got?
I'd
I'm
like
sorry,
to
Pastor.
jump in
Come on, jump in this pool.
Yeah.
and to say that I used to have a therapist
Mm-hmm.
who believed that contained within the Kuiper belt,
Mm-hmm.
which is a ring around our solar system of junk, that there were 4 alien races in the Kuiper belt that made it possible for Donald Trump to win, to fight the Illuminati.
You had to leave after that point, didn't you?
I didn't leave her out because of that. But
I would have never left either. I would have never
No,
left.
me neither. I would have been too entertained to start being her
Yeah, bro.
therapist.
To start a headline like that is crazy, bro.
Can you imagine? This week, patient claims his therapist believes aliens in the Kuiper Belt help Donald Trump beat the Illuminati.
Honestly, like when it comes to like science, bro, like anything goes for me. Like I love science. Like I believe science is like the key. Science is like everything. Science is imagination, like and all that. Like quantum science has to do
don't
with
start
this.
talking about quantum. I love quantum theory.
It has to do with the spiritual world.
It does, and people don't understand about the energy levels and how things actually are broken
It's
down
so
into energy.
important, bro.
Let me
Like
stop.
Christine, do you want to jump in
that's
here?
like when you. It's so important. Quantum science has to do with everything. How we, or even our phones. Coding,
you're touching a subject. They have no idea what we're going to talk about. Let's leave them.
All right. I'm the host. All right, so let's transition, and before we just go on, that I did like the exchange about following up with mental health care, because especially after the pandemic, that there is a record number of mental illness in the world right now.
Yes. Every
And-
culture. Yep.
And it is an important issue to pay attention to.
Hmm.
So in saying that, I do have a couple stories, because we're really only going to go a little while longer, because we've just hit about the 1 hour mark.
Oh God.
And so I'm going to read this story to you, and we'll just react to it. Okay.
Here we go.
So a Florida man is facing charges for misusing 911
Florida man.
Oh my God.
after
It's
he
always in
allegedly
Florida.
replaced repeated calls asking law enforcement officers to arrest Joe Biden.
What? Read that back to me one more time.
A Florida man is facing charges of misusing 911 after he allegedly placed repeated calls asking law enforcement officers to arrest President Joe Biden.
So no, I wonder if any police officers were just curious enough to be like, why?
Well, it
What
was
are they-
Jacob Philbeck, 29, was arrested on May 8th after making a series of calls to the Pinellas County 911 system requesting that Biden be arrested and former drug kingpin El Chapo Guzman be freed, according to an arrest
He want
report
better prices
obtained
for
by
his
the
coke.
smoking
Some-
gun.
Whoever this guy is, he knew that he was gonna go viral. He just had to. It's just how hard he was gonna go. he knew he was gonna go viral, bro. Because there's no way.
He wanted better coke. That was my
He
opinion.
picked El Chapo. He picked Biden. He knew, bro. He didn't even say anybody else. Like, what do you guys think about
Well, the last line of this article says, according to WFLA TV, noted that the arrest documents said that alcohol might have been involved.
whoa. He was
Dang.
drunk. My boy was getting. That's what I knew.
We need to know what
I
he
need a
was
nice
purchasing. Christine, what do you think he was drinking, sipping on to get to that point?
You know, I'm not supposed to be.
He probably had some Everclear.
All to my mom. You know, she got.
Everclear, okay. Okay. If you
You know,
don't
that's
go
straight
crazy
wood
and-
grain alcohol, right?
Wait, say that again?
I said that is straight wood grain alcohol. That's
She
just
knows.
as
She
strong
knows. She's been
as
drinking for years.
what's that stuff they make down south? Brew.
Oh, brew.
Moonshine?
White lightning.
Moonshine.
Moonshine, white lightning. It's
White
just
lightning.
as strong.
Ooh.
Yes.
So don't drink that if you don't want to start making prank calls to the cops.
Prank calls to the cops are correct.
And whether you believe it or not, whether you admit it or believe it, a lot of these drugs have a lot to do with the mental health crisis.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
But you know what
It
I
has
think
a
it is, though?
whole lot
I
to do
definitely.
with our mental health crisis.
I think the drugs definitely have to do with the mental health crisis, but I really, really, really deep down, I really think that it's the internet.
Is it what?
There's so many more standards nowadays. Back then, you didn't have to worry about being you didn't have all these worries in the world. You didn't have to compete with the kids next door to you all day. All you knew that there was other kids. You know what I mean? You ain't know the breakdown. You ain't know everything about everyone's life. You didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like you just,
Yeah, your community
there's just
was your
many more
community.
standards. Like there's just so many more. Everything is just so much more detailed now. There's just so much more information. We're like overexposed. And it sounds crazy to say that because like we should be able to consume as much information and take in as much as possible. But like I said, ignorance is bliss. That's a real thing. The less you know, the better you are off. You know what I'm saying? In life. So
But
kids
I
have no
don't agree
problem.
with you. I don't agree with you on that because Back in the days, you knew more about your neighbors. You knew who lived in your community, on your block. You knew every person on your block. Those kids that you're talking about, 9 times out of 10, they were part of your household, just like you were part of theirs. Now,
True.
nobody knows nobody. Nobody knows nothing about
That's
no
very true.
history. Nobody
Yeah,
knows anything about it. All they know is bad stuff, not
yeah.
the positive stuff.
When Reverend Diana was telling me about how she went to an event and she walks outside and there's young people in their early 20s, whatever, laying on her car. When she walks up and say, "Hey, gentlemen, young man, can you get off my car?" And they looked at her like she was crazy. That to
What?
me, that to me was such a horrible sign because
Are you talking about Reverend Hodges?
yeah, yeah, Reverend Hodges. I said Reverend Diane, yeah. But I went by
You
my
said
contact
Diana.
info.
That's what kind of threw me.
Yeah, Reverend Hodges.
Okay.
And when that situation, I was like, wow, it sickened me because I'm not that older, right? But I remember, like I said earlier in the show, like being encouraged to help my elderly people out and just being respectful. And I mean, literally news break on my app, there are like stories of people attacking elderly people. And
I don't like stuff like that, man.
and
I
it's
don't
like,
watch.
whoa, we're like robbing them, hurting them, it and it's just like this. It's hard to explain, but it's a
That's
weird
very
feeling.
bad. That's
It's a
very,
weird
very
feeling.
bad karma. I don't like the. That's very bad karma. That's why I like my job. That's why I like speak about like aiding and helping other people. I'm saying being like a positive influence on people. Like I like my job because like I like working around like people who know more than me, people who like have been on the earth longer than me, whether they're patients, like coworkers or anything like that. Like I like just because I want to soak up as much as I can, and I just like give it back. That's where my
Yeah.
blessings come from. I say that all the time. Like my life is just like I've never really had too much turmoil in my life. Like a couple family issues. Like little things going on with me. You know what I'm saying? I had to fix, but like I've never really had too much turmoil. Like I like that job because like I don't know, it just keeps me on a positive track, and it's just been helping me like a lot. Like I see things a lot clearer. You know what I mean? So like the old like messing with
So
old people, I ain't having that. I don't like that.
so Alex, I'm just gonna let Mo and Christine know what you do. Alex works for transportation for the hospital.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
So
yeah. It's
he
my
so he transports people either out who are being discharged or to dialysis or other parts of the hospital.
that's what, yeah.
And today, Alex comes down the hall because my office is near dialysis, having a full-on conversation with the patient in the bed.
Oh, I can't help it.
I'm saying it's a good thing. I'm saying it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like
If it was Christine in that bed, she would have been like, yes.
nah, Miss Christine would have been. I just seen you the other day, Miss Christine. I don't know if it was at the hospital. You came and got something. You came and got
Oh,
something.
you
had
know
like
what?
something.
And now I seen you too.
Yeah.
And I started to pull your coat. I didn't know who you was. But I started to tell you tighten up your belt, and you don't got to keep pulling them up.
That's a fact.
I went back. I got discharged, and I went back to get my phone, my phone charger. And I seen you pushing the patient over to the elevators there to the side where you take the patients. And I said, "Oh, nice looking black man, but he need to tighten that belt up."
Yeah, I would have told you the same thing, my brother.
Nah,
I would have told you the same thing. I'm sorry, the educated. I teach in a school. I would have been like, no, pull that up, brother.
Now that I know who you are, when I see you, and this is something I say all the time, the ones that I know, I'll walk up behind you and have a wedgie.
Oh man.
Oh, she not playing. She got it in her to
I'll
do
pull them up for you. I won't tell you to pull them up. I'm gonna pull them up for you.
You lucky I wasn't there, brother. I'd be like, King, I look at you. You smart and you carry yourself a certain type of way. and people can freely associate you with anything they want. So
No, they
keep
really
it
can,
away
man.
from that.
That's serious. They really can, like that's the thing, like they really like. So that's another thing too in this world. Like I've noticed, like there's so much, like it's so much easier to be judged too nowadays. You put yourself out there, you know what I mean? Like people, like I said, you kind of right about that. You're right about that, Miss Christine too. People don't really know you too much. They only know what you put out there, what they see. You know what I mean? They don't really know you too much about the internet. So you're right about that. Like it's easy to get judged nowadays. I feel like a lot easier. You know what I mean? Take criticism, and it's a lot harder to deal with it because you don't really know how to weed it out. You don't really know how to divide it and take what's good from what's bad because everything, you know what I mean? Like you don't know. Everything is trolling nowadays. Somebody can say something positive on the internet, but you might not really care because it's like, is they really hating or not? You know what I'm saying? Or it's just like, it's just the world, like it's just different nowadays. You know what I mean? It's so competitive. Like,
So, Christine, do you know the word trolling?
Trolling?
Education time. Trolling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
trolling.
I know what trolling. It could mean a couple of different things.
So
what's a couple of different things? Hold up, Master.
So what was your trolling back in your day?
What was my trolling?
Yeah. What did trolling mean in your day?
Well, you're looking for something, or like, going through.
Going through.
trolling. Oh yeah.
I get what she's saying.
Like you're trolling for something.
Yeah.
Either you're trolling for a guy or you're trolling for a girl. Trolling through the
you're looking for
some
something.
drugs. You're looking for something.
Yep,
Trolling. So what is trolling to you, Rev?
Well, I just heard trolling. When you harass somebody online.
Oh, I don't know that because I'm not really an online person, so I don't know those terminologies.
Yeah, that's what it now means.
Trolling, it's like when you're like looking for problems, you're harassing someone online, but like in a sarcastic way. Mostly.
Okay, so you said that to say what? Not you, Rev. Why did you ask me about trolling? So what was you trying to say?
I just wanted to see what you were going to say.
You're trying to say
that I was trolling you, Alex?
No, maybe a little bit.
You were trolling Alex when you were gonna give him a wedgie.
You was, that was a trolling. That was trolling.
That was trolling. Yeah, that was
well, trolling. I'm not gonna be looking for that, but if I see it, then I
might as well troll you. I love that. Wait.
And you know something why I don't like that is it looks very nasty, number one. And I don't want to walk around. I don't want to walk around and look at your behind. And I've seen, speaking of trolling and social media, if you spell sagging backwards, what do you got?
Oh.
Sagging backwards. SAG.
Without the G.
Without the G?
No, with the G in there.
With the G?
Yeah, with both of
them. ING, inging. Hey, wait, ing sung?
Oh, no, but not sagging. Sagging.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's what I meant.
I-N.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Ing gas. In gas? I'm somebody help me out. Y'all got my ADHD tripping.
Nigga.
Nigga. Oh. Inga.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, Inga. Okay. Now, I will say as a man.
You still ain't got it.
I still don't get it. As a man, I'm just going to move on. As a man,
where did Alex go?
Alex, where you
I
at?
don't know where did Alex go.
He
Let me
cut
t-
off. His phone probably died.
Oh yeah, because there's only 3 of us. I bet his battery died again. That's what happened the last episode.
Mo, I'm surprised.
This man
at
is a
you.
black ghost.
I'm
That's
very
why he is the
surprised at
worst
you.
guest ever.
Mo, I am surprised at you.
I've been through a lot today. You know what, Alex, you're gonna play this back, so I'm gonna say this now. And for my young brothers, one of the biggest lessons that and I think black men, black people in my community, our community really struggle to understand is it don't matter what color you are, there's an image. And people are allowed when we've built professional people have built an image. Whether you're black, you're white, when you are trying to be a worker, you're trying to be a part of this community, a working class citizen, you have to learn to carry yourself in that proper image. And those certain images do equal success. And if you are positive, if you are mentally capable of doing something, you must also present that physically. Now, and sagging is just something that's just not acceptable. For no no man ever. I don't care. No man.
Some
I don't care
people
who you
can't
are.
help it now,
Don't
Mo.
do it. Huh?
Some people can't help it.
They can't, but I've argued with young students and they're like, oh, well, I sag. No. It's unacceptable. And at the end of the day, I have a friend that's a cop and he kept it real a long time ago. And he said, look, these are the things we look for. It's not fair, but we have things that we look for in other communities as well, because that's just, and you would say, oh, it's not fair, but it's stereotyping and we do, but humans naturally do it.
We do, but when they do it, it's wrong.
It's wrong, but in a weird way,
because they're doing it for a particular reason, and they usually do it to men of color.
Exactly. Yet it is a fact that cops and they have lists for each group. They look for certain things and signs in each group, and we kind of have to, like, when I personally witnessed it, seen it. And I knew from a young age, and because I was watching this guy on 48 Hours who talked about, his dressing, and realizing, like, when he dressed a different type of way, he was less likely to get caught, and he was still doing wrong. He knew. Even when you're a criminal, even the best criminals don't keep themselves out there.
Okay.
They don't.
Well, I just think they walk different when their pants are hanging down. They're walking all wide legs, trying to keep them from falling down.
They don't know the history.
Than they are, and
they don't know the history.
Just sad. But like I said, well, to get back to you, so you can get this point. When you spell that backward, it spells niggas without the R, Niggs. That's what sagging backward spells.
You know what? I was doing when you was an ing, I wasn't doing an I N. I kept adding another G. There was 3 G's in my head.
3 G's. Well, good.
I was spelling the word right.
Not that it makes it right, but I seen it on Facebook.
Yeah, and it's true.
And I was like, oh wow, they just associate everything negative to us, Not that we're that, because
we're not.
That is not what the word nigger means. That in the dictionary, it's a whole nother meaning. It doesn't specify a black person.
Yes. Wow.
It specifies somebody ignorant.
I just want to say this. I'm sorry, Pastor. We took over. We black people came in and we just took your show over. I was going to say this. I was going to ask you this question. Have you ever heard of a rapper called Kendrick Lamar?
I've heard of him.
You've heard of him. Yeah, we've probably talked. How about you, Christine?
I've heard of him, but I don't follow them rappers.
No, so this young man, well, he's older now. he just came out with a new album, and he talked about this whole album is basically his struggle as being a black man that's idolized within our culture and our community. For a lot of the music he has placed out, and he's doing an introspective album where he talks about his experience. You know, there's a part where he says, "I apologizing for love," basically loving myself when I see myself in the mirror. Basically, don't idolize me because I have my own problems. And there's a lot of messages of saying like how he struggled to try to um, be something where the culture was, you know, idolizing the violence and the certain attitude, and being how that he struggled because that wasn't what he was, but he grew up in that environment, and it was a struggle to like fit in and trying to break out of that and not become something that people negatively idolize, or just idolize in general. And how he really, different songs have different stories for it, but how he really had to grow himself. That's the whole album, like really a lot of what the album is, and talking about the issues in our community. And it's a phenomenal album. And regardless of your age, you can appreciate so much what he's saying. So much. You know,
So,
we're not violent. He talks about we're not violence. We're not the drug dealers. We're not the killers. We're not that, you know, and we don't even have to pretend to be that. You don't have to feel like you have to be like fake it to make it to be that, because you see your community or something happening in your community that makes you feel like you got to be a part of that lifestyle, because everybody else tell you you are something that you don't want to be. It's beautiful.
All right, we'll probably need to wrap it up here.
No, go ahead, Pastor.
So, Christine, any final remarks?
I'm good.
And a red Twizzler's your favorite flavor of Twizzler?
Was that evident? I tried to do it on the sneak tip.
You
But yes, I love them.
You didn't sneak it at all.
I call myself don't. But yes, I'm eating the Twizzler, Reverend Richard.
Okay. All right. So we end the episode the same way every time, with a prayer. Oh, Father God, we thank you for this episode, and that, Lord, our prayers and our sorrows and our hope goes out to the city of Buffalo. That, Lord, I pray that you keep all of us safe and healthy, and that, Lord, may the dialogue that happened today go out and to those that will listen, and hit everybody's ear in a positive way, that the people on the show today were sharing themselves and sharing their perspectives on different issues, and what affects the Black community, and how things might go better in the future. So, Lord, I just ask a blessing on Brother Alex. I ask a blessing on Brother Mo, and I ask a blessing on Sister Christine, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
And so I can say with 100% certainty that Alex, you still are the worst guest ever.
You know what? He is definitely part of that younger generation. They can't even keep their phone charged. Look at me. I'm getting older. I'm like, wow, his phone not even charged all the way. Probably had on 15%. When he came in.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Love you guys.
Love you, Christine.